Grandparent support in COVID times. So when every parent is getting so stressed up about raising children in COVID times, let's talk about grandparents and grandparenting, the second most beautiful journey in one's life. And let's talk about the invaluable contribution that grandparents can make at this particular time. So dear parents, if you're listening to this, you need to make your parents sit alongside and listen. Or if they are smartphone user parents, simply press forward if they're not staying with you. Becoming a grandparent can change your life in many wonderful ways. You have a huge influence on your grandchildren's thinking patterns, their value systems, their play, their routine, their behavior, and their overall personality. Now, irrespective whether you are a distant or a visiting grandparent or one who stays with the grandchild, your support becomes even more crucial, especially during COVID times. So here is what every grandparent needs to arm himself or herself with. Be armed with tons of patience. Grandparents, do remember that it's been quite a while since you last raised young kids, so your reservoir of patience will need to be recharged. And in COVID times, do remember that your grandchildren are deprived of their friends' company, their school, their teachers, their play. They do not have the vocabulary to express it, but they are missing the social interaction terribly. So they will want you to repeat the rhymes, the silly songs, the silly lullabies 100 times. They will want you to make those silly faces all over again so that they can giggle all over again. They will want you to sit through their entire play, their study, their school interaction, their silly games. Basically, what they're looking for is a patient ear. And remember that if you listen to them patiently, they will also tend to be patient listeners to all that you have to say. You hear them out and they will hear you out as well. And patience is one of the most desirable virtues for every child, every parent, and every grandparent, especially in COVID times. So make an effort to involve your grandchildren with your routine activities. Involve them in cleaning and resetting your cupboard, your books, your bed, your room, and take their suggestions as to what you should wear. Make them a part of your meal routines and perhaps even an online grandparent group chat. Let them see your friends, wave to them, talk to them, and do it the other way around too. Be a part of their routine activities as well. Be a part of their dressing up routine, their meal routines, cook something together, talk about their online friends and teachers. Remember that this is the time when children are not going to school and actually have a lot of time on their hands. So do not shy away from creating a special routine with your grandchildren. Have your me time with your grandchild. Only you and the grandchild. Do what you both enjoy. Make a secret code, secret signals, secret language which no one else besides the two of you know about. So make an effort and get closer to your grandchildren in this time. Tell your grandchildren a lot of stories. Don't think that your stories will not interest them. You're only letting the generation gap gather home in your mind. Remember that children love to listen to stories, be it folk tales or animal tales or fairy tales. And this is one area of expertise in which you will win hands down as compared to your children. That is the parents of your grandchildren, because you have the time and the wisdom to narrate these stories. So don't hold yourself back. Rather, learn the new styles, the new nuances of storytelling, the kind that your grandchildren also love these days, such as just add some background noise, vary your rhythm, pause now and then, use a prop, and it's not really very difficult, The more you tell, the more you learn. For example, if it's a story of the lion and the mouse, the traditional story, so just make the lion come in different avatars, right? Sometimes the lion is like the king, sometimes like the lion is like the sage, sometimes the lion is hungry, sometimes the lion is also a grandparent having so much of fun with the grandchildren cubs. So just vary it. Just vary your stories, and this is the right time to tell them lots of stories. Talk about COVID and hygiene and cleanliness and lockdown in the form of stories. Your children, your grandchildren will appreciate that and stay glued to you. Now, this is also the perfect time to talk about values and traditions. Talk about your family values and traditions to your children through stories. Tell them about those traditions, such as the whole family sharing a meal on every birthday at the local orphanage. About how the whole family cooks a meal and shares it with children at the blind school every Diwali. How every June, the peak summer, grandfather will have a tradition of putting out a pot of cold water outside the house or society for daily wage workers to quench their thirst. These are the values and traditions which I'm sure you would like to pass on to your grandchildren so that they can carry them on. So talk about it, and especially during COVID times when values have become even more important. Make an effort to learn about advancements in technology and gadgets along with your grandchildren. Have them explain new technology to you since they are born digital natives while you are not. But don't let the gap widen. Stay alert and tuned to what is happening in their world. And while they explain the world of technology to you, how to mute, how to chat, what app to use, you should be guiding them in as far as what content to view as regards technology. Well, when you talk about a story, a folk tale, ask your young grandchild to look for the same folk tale on YouTube. When you talk about history, about World War, about the Spanish flu, ask your grandchild to search for that particular topic on the net and have it laid out to you. Patch up your expertise with their technology skill. That way the gap doesn't widen and both of you are kind of, complementing each other. So that's the way to do it, grandparents. Grandchildren are the best stress busters for you, and grandparents are the best stress busters for the grandchild. Never forget that. In fact, this relationship works better than medicine, because while the parents, they take care of the primal responsibility of feeding, clothing and providing for the children, the rest of the job is done by the grandparents. The grandparents' role is to add richness to the routine of the grandchild, and the grandchild look towards the grandparent like the jam on the pudding. They love the jam and that cherry on top of the pudding, as they call it. So enjoy and have fun with each other. Don't forget to let your hair down and be the best stress buster for each other. Walk, run, dance, sing, act and play with each other. Don't hold yourself back. Strengthen your bond with your grandchild's parents. So, dear grandparents, this is the best time for you to tell your own children that they are doing an excellent job, a terrific job of raising kids in these times. Your children are also sleep deprived, time deprived, and a word of praise from you will do wonders. And as a closing statement, I will not dare to call it advice, but just a closing statement. Dear grandparents, remember please that your own children, that is your grandchildren's parent, need you as much as your grandchildren. So those hugs, those calls, those special moments, those special me times with your own children must carry on too. Please do not neglect your own child. So there you see, you are doubly special for your child and your grandchild. You're the best.